a friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie, yo, 614. That in that neighborhood. My brothers and sisters, I do not have time to do a live stream later on this afternoon, Bean Team. But I do have some time this morning to record a reaction video. And today, we are going back to my brother from another mother. And that brother is Ryan from Tragedy Tales. Back to Tragedy Tales, y'all. And the title of the video is Fatal Attraction, 5 shocking body cam clips. Now, Ryan has never did the body cam clips, y'all, so this is gonna be very freaking interesting. It's a brand new series. It's an hour freaking long, and I'm ready to get into it. But before we get into it, my brothers and sisters, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need, please. We are back to Ryan from Tragedy Tales. Y'all got what y'all need? Y'all ready to go? Then let's go.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but when body-worn cameras capture something eerie or disturbing, when you watch that footage back as a viewer, it just feels way more horrifying. It feels more personal, and you feel like you're right there. Obviously, just due to their nature, body-worn cameras often capture heart-stopping moments that will make your blood run cold. Today, in this new series, we're going to highlight 5 crazy bodycam videos, from the man who couldn't get over his ex, to the absolutely abhorrent Sarah Everard case. This week, as usual, we've got entries that will leave you with goosebumps. So, draw the curtains, grab your favourite drink, and let's get right into it.
Oh. Get whatever you may need. Number 5.
Some criminals are smarter than others. I recall a story about a guy in the UK who nicked a mobile phone only to go and sell it to a pawn shop around the corner and give over his real name and real address. Not the smartest criminal you've ever seen. However, most people who commit a crime avoid the police at all costs. They don't want to get caught. But in this case, the complete opposite occurred. This entry begins in the city of Chelmsford, situated in Essex, United Kingdom. In May of 2022, 26-year-old Marek Hecko split up from his partner Stephanie Bream. The pair had been dating for several months, but the relationship soon turned sour when Marek began lying and allegedly taking drugs. Apparently, it didn't take much to know when Marek was on them, so the pair broke up and went their separate ways. Now, Stephanie moved on quickly, having romantic relations with 44-year-old Adrian Ellingford. Adrian, a father of 2 young boys, who lived in Chelmsford, was a married man of 17 years. And while it was an affair, Stephanie and Adrian quickly hit it off, and Marek was, metaphorically, left in the dust. Marek was a Slovakian citizen who moved to the UK in 2019. He was a chef and worked long hours to pay his bills and better his life. After the breakup, he tried focusing on work, but he just couldn't forget about Stephanie. He became obsessed. Soon he began stalking her like a madman, barraging her with lots of messages and video calls, begging her to take him back. This stalking escalated, and soon Marek was accused of arriving at Stephanie's workplace and home uninvited.
Yeah, this is escalating real bad, man. One of the most dangerous things in the freaking world, and it's really almost something that you can't predict, is a freaking lunatic ex-stalker mother. You know what I'm saying, man? And the reason I say you can't really predict it is because if you get with somebody, y'all love is at some point it's love there, and you would never think they would do something like that. Then when you break up with them, you be like, "What the freak? I actually was in love with this Luna mother in tick." You know what I'm saying, man? It's hard to predict who is crazy out here until the craziness happens sometime. I guess that's just life. Let's go.
Marek even lied to Stephanie and said that he had colon cancer in an effort to get her to reply, but still, it didn't work. Fast forward to July 2022. Things were brewing in a bad way. Stephanie was still dating Adrian, and Marek was still obsessed with her. Things began bubbling over. 2 months after the breakup, on July the 24th, 2022, Marek bought 2 bottles of wine and walked over to Stephanie's house in Nelson Grove. That night, Adrian and Stephanie had been out in town having a drink, and they fell asleep at her property at around 3 a.m. on the 25th. However, just an hour and a half later, Adrian woke up in a panic. He jumped out of bed and said that someone was in the house. After rushing onto his feet, he made it to the end of the bed, where here he collapsed face first onto the floor.
Oh.
Stephanie rushed over to find a broken blade jammed into Adrian's back. He'd been stabbed twice in his sleep, one so deep that it damaged and cut a bone in his chest. The police rushed to the scene, but sadly nothing could be done to save Adrian, and he died later that morning. Essex Police and Kent's Serious Crime Unit launched a murder investigation. They had a killer on their hands, but at the time they had no idea who'd done it. The back sliding door had been opened and the front door was left ajar. They found the handle of the knife at the base of the stairs and an empty bottle of wine out front. Now the police...
And then it's like, man, I'm just thinking about love triangles like this now. I talked about the 2 people who was together, then they break up, then one of the person be a crazy, obsessive, stalking lunatic mother, you know what. But then you got to think about the other person in this love triangle. The new partner of the that joined up in the relationship, and the ex mad at that new partner, and now that new partner becomes a victim of the whole love triangle. You know what I'm saying, man? That man became the victim of what they had going on. I didn't expect him to die. Rest in peace, Adrian. Let's go.
Probably could have figured this out, but it turns out they just didn't need to. Because at 7:46 on the morning of the murder, bodycam footage was recorded right outside Stephanie's house by one of the police officers that was guarding the scene. The bodycam footage shows a man, now identified as Marek, walking up to the house with a brandy bottle in his hand. He's clearly very intoxicated, and this is when he splurges the lot.
Who are you looking for?
I'm looking for I can help her. What's going on?
Uniform one nights?
Yeah, I can help her. What's going on? Yeah. No, I know what happened. I know the people they involved. So.
Go again.
But we need to dig deep, you know?
Thank you. What's your name?
I'm not gonna tell you my name. I don't give a because I know what happened. And you need me to know, figure it out what happened.
An intoxicated Marek said that he was looking for her, meaning his ex-girlfriend, saying that he could help her and he can help with what's going on. He then says, I don't know what happened. I know the people there involved. I'm not going to tell you my name. I don't give a I don't know what happened, and you need me to figure out what happened.
If you don't have me, you don't know what happened. I just know that some guy come here.
Yeah.
And then he up some guy. I don't know what happened.
Right.
I don't know what happened.
He don't know what happened, but then he tell him what happened. This man drunk as elf.
You're gonna think about me, but it's not gonna be me because there's no proof.
So you think something's happened to a male in this address?
No, I know what happened.
What happened then? Tell me what happened.
This city is mine. I'm not gonna
This
tell you
city's
that.
yours, is it?
Yeah, this city is mine.
He then said, you guys are going to think it's me, but it's not, as there's no proof. He said, the city is mine, the city is mine. Now, bearing in mind, Marek went to the police and said this at the scene before any of the case had been made public. So the police obviously instantly wondered how he knew all this information, and shortly after the footage, Marek became confrontational. Here he was arrested on suspicion of murder.
You've been arrested, okay?
I've been arrested, yeah, so send me the law.
We're trying not.
Okay,
we're
send me.
trying not to manhandle you, but we need you to get in the van.
He was taken to the local police station, and whilst in custody, police then realised that they captured the main suspect. He just said to the police that he was out that morning to look for cocaine that he'd lost the night before. But of course, this was all cap. Within a few days, Marek was formally charged with the murder of Adrian and held in custody until his trial. Marek's trial began in February 2023, and during this trial, Marek stuck to his defence, saying that he was innocent and pleaded not guilty to the murder. But the evidence says otherwise. The court heard that Marek had left his DNA at the scene on one of the bottles of wine and also on the handle of the knife, the murder weapon. Marek said that his DNA would have been on all these items due to him being at Stephanie's house many times before. However, there was also CCTV footage of him walking to Stephanie's and walking back with one less bottle of wine that same night, so the evidence was pretty damning. In court, Adrian's wife read out a victim statement. She described Adrian as an amazing husband, loving son, and a caring brother, a friend to many, and most importantly, a truly brilliant father. On March the 14th, 2023, a jury unanimously found Marek guilty of murder, and he was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 26 years. Marek's obsession spiraled into tragedy, one that cost Adrian Ellingford his life and tore apart his family. Marek crossed a line that day that now can never be undone. And what makes this story even more shocking is how Marek had the ego to return to the scene that very morning, drunkenly boasting about how he knew the truth. In the end, Marek's attempt to manipulate the situation only ensured his downfall. It's almost like he wanted to be caught. But as always, I'm interested in your thoughts below.
Yeah, man, it's like he almost acted like he almost wanted to be caught. I don't know, man. Like, dude, or could we blame it on the alcohol? Either way it go, man, he just was freaking like this dude before anything even got out to any news outlet, before the investigation even begun. He just went and told on himself. Like, I think there was something inside him more than the alcohol, and the alcohol just brought it out, I guess. I don't know. That is crazy, man. Rest in peace to Adrian, though. I didn't expect him to die. I didn't expect nobody to actually die in this situation. I don't know why. We are watching tragedy tales, you know what I'm saying, man? But I didn't expect that case to happen like it went. I digress. Let's go to number 4. Number 4.
On July the 31st, 2022, it was an ordinary summer's day in Statham, Norfolk, United Kingdom. That fine summer's day, 20-year-old Fenella Hawes was working, and after a long slog, it was time to walk home. However, before Fenella walked home, she decided that she was going to treat her mum to some of her favourite flowers, some sunflowers. She bought them and snapped this photo and sent it to her mum. This was just a small act of love from a promising student that was studying natural sciences at Lancaster University. Fenella had an infectious smile. She was described as loving and caring, and at the time she completed 2 years of her course and even earned a bursary trip for Honduras. But after picking the flowers, Fenella decided to walk home with her 16-year-old friend along the A149 on Chapel Field Road. As Fenella was walking down the road with her friend, shortly before 4:30 p.m, the unthinkable occurred. As Fenella and her friend was walking down the road, 68-year-old Malcolm Waite, driving his Lexus SUV, travelling at an estimated 60 miles an hour, veered across the road and mounted the pavement. As he did so, he hit Fenella with the car, knocking her down and also striking her friend.
Damn.
He mowed down Fenella without even caring, causing devastating mortal injuries. Fenella was fighting for her life at the roadside. Ambulances rushed to the scene, but despite desperate efforts, Fenella's injuries were so catastrophic that she could not be saved and died at the roadside.
But why? Like, why did he do this? Did he do this on purpose? Or did he fall asleep at the wheel? Did he have a seizure? Or, like, why would he just target these 2 young women? Rest in peace, man. That's crazy. Let's get some details.
This was approximately 20 minutes after she'd sent this photo to her mum of the sunflowers. Her mum never even got the chance to say goodbye. The 16-year-old who witnessed this horrific event is now traumatized, forever marked by what she saw that day. After hitting Fenella, Malcolm did not stop. He continued driving for another 800 meters before veering off the road again and colliding with a roadside and a lamppost. And this is when the body cam begins. Police found Malcolm slumped inside his vehicle with a half-empty bottle of vodka beside him. He stunk of alcohol, he had glazed eyes, and slurred speech.
I'm talking about, did he have a seizure? I didn't even bring up the drunk part. Man, these freaking, god damn, man, these people don't know how to control the alcohol, dude. What the freak?
Roadside, Malcolm refused to give a breath sample, and on the shocking body cam footage, he's more bothered about what the officer had called him instead of what he had just done.
Time, if ever, have you had any alcohol?
What do you call me a complete...
I haven't called you a When was the last time you had any alcohol, Malcolm?
Oh, what did you call?
Okay. Malcolm, I'm going to make a requirement for you to provide me with a specimen of breath because you've been involved in a road traffic collision. Failing the breath test or failing to do the breath test will leave you liable to arrest. Okay, so what I need you to do, I need you to make a seal around this tube and blow until I say stop. All right? Do you understand?
Why did you call me a...
Malcolm, I didn't call you a all right? This is the first time I've had a chat with you. I need you to blow into this. Failing it or failing to do it is an offence. Malcolm, I need you to provide me with a specimen of breath, all right? So I need you to make a seal around the tube and blow until I say stop.
I want you to tell me if you call me a...
Okay, I will tell you, I didn't. All right? I'll remind you again that failing to provide is an offence which will leave you liable to arrest. Okay? Can you make a seal around the tube and blow until I say stop, please?
Did you call me...
No, I didn't. Okay? Are you going to provide a specimen of breath, Malcolm? Okay.
Did you call me a...
No, I didn't, Malcolm. All right? Malcolm, I'm going to say something to you now, and it's very important that you listen, all right? I'm aware that you're under arrest on suspicion of being unfit, okay, through drink or drugs. I'm now going to be arresting you on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving and causing death by being under the influence of alcohol or drugs.
Like, that dude really was just pissing me off then, man. I'm not talking about the officer. I'm talking about Malcolm. Like, you really that fucking drunk, dude, and you thinking that it's okay to drive a vehicle? Like, you just literally putting a lot of people's life in danger. If you want to get that drunk, stay your drunk ass at the house. Like, he was F the F up, y'all. And it's like he was, he too damn, he got gray. He got salt and pepper in his beard and hair and stuff, man. You way too old to be that irresponsible, bro. Ugh.
Truly, truly shocking stuff. PC Callum Walchester, who arrested him for refusing to provide a breath test, stated that Malcolm was the drunkest person that he'd ever seen behind the wheel in his 10 years as an officer. 4 hours later, Malcolm was dragged to a police station, and here he gave a breath sample. Even at the station, 4 hours later, it was revealed that he had 120 micrograms per 100 milliliters in his breath. Officers calculated that he would have been around 158 micrograms at the time he was in his car and hit Fenella. To put it in perspective, the legal limit is 35 micrograms per 100 milliliters. So Malcolm was nearly 5 times over the limit and still chose to get in his car. Fenella's family were, of course, devastated by the news. Fenella had a bright future ahead of her. She was described as happy, so alive, and Malcolm snatched her life away and probably doesn't even remember doing it. On September the 15th, in court via video link, Malcolm pleaded guilty to causing death by dangerous driving. His defense attorney, Andrew Oliver, argued that he had a long history of depression and a background of serious alcohol dependency. His defense said that Malcolm feels intense remorse for what he has done. He knows that he's caused intense pain to Fenella's family and friends, and for that, he's so sorry. Now, in June of 2022, the maximum sentence for causing death by dangerous driving in the UK had been increased from 14 years in prison to life. However, despite this law changing a whole month prior to the incident, the judge considered Malcolm's guilty plea, his remorse, lack of prior convictions, and mental health issues as mitigating factors, and as a result, in November 2022, he was only sentenced to 8 years in prison.
Oh,
instead of
hell
5.
no.
This sentence means he could be out in as little as 4 years.
Oh, hell no. What is going on, man? I'm not even finna go all down that road with y'all, man, but y'all know that is wrong. All us know that, Bean Team. That is so effed up. Seriously, man. 8 years? Now, I can understand if you gonna charge him with not murder and charge him with manslaughter. Okay, we can do that. But he still got to get at least 25 to life, man. I'm sorry. 8 fucking years? Let's go, y'all. Let's go. Rest in peace, baby girl. That is so effed up, man. That's all her life was worth. Was giving him 8 years, and Ryan said he might be out in 4.
The family described it as unjust and was not reflective of her life, nor the life she was due to have, which I wholeheartedly agree with. In her mother's victim statement, she expressed the pain of the loss. She said in court that she never had a chance to say goodbye, and she pictures her happy Fenella walking down the street carrying the sunflowers for her before being hit by the car. Following the tragedy, Fenella was posthumously granted a first-class degree at Lancaster University. Her friends attended her graduation, but Fenella wasn't there. A petition to increase Malcolm's sentence garnered over 6,500 signatures, and now one more after I've signed it. If you're watching this video and want true justice, I would implore you to sign it too. Malcolm.
I'm gonna sign that petition, y'all. Most definitely. After I get done watching this video and clicking on that link down below, and I'm signing this ish, man. This is ridiculous.
Will have to live with what he's done for the rest of his life. The fact she was simply on her way to her mum's to give her some flowers, only to lose her life to someone who clearly didn't care. It truly breaks my heart.
That one right there is ridiculous, man. That one right there that really heated me up, y'all. Seriously, I was already mad because just the fact that he was that careless out on the road. And then when I find out that he got freaking 8 years, are you kidding me, man? And then just think about it like this, Bean Team. This why this shit gonna keep on happening. Look at the consequences these drunk drivers facing over there and what it was, England or somewhere. I can't remember, man. But just look at the consequences. Look at the maximum that y'all giving them and shit. Now, I take it back. Ryan did say it went from 14 years to life. So maybe that would change. But then this is just such a weird situation in this case because the judge feeling sorry. You giving sympathy. God damn, I'm dropping my vapor and everything. You giving sympathy to a man that killed a little girl because he was being drunk, but since he was having mental issues and he don't have a prior record, we can, instead of giving him at least, I'm just saying 25, y'all. Instead of giving him 25, which really kept him in there for the rest of his life because how old he was. But instead of giving him 25, you just gonna give him 8. Man, get the fuck out my face. Let's go, y'all. Number 3.
This needlessly tragic entry begins in Springfield, Illinois, on the night of July the 6th, 2024. Just before 1 a.m. on the 6th, 36-year-old Sonia Massey, a mother of 2, called 911 to report a prowler at her home in Springfield. 30-year-old Officer Sean Grayson and another unknown deputy responded to the call, arriving at Sonia's house to investigate. The officers searched the perimeter of the property, but found no such prowler. So the pair knocked on Sonia's door and entered the home. The first thing that Sonia said to the officers was, "Don't hurt me."
The one you called.
I need you down here, and I need you down here. Please don't hurt me.
Why would it hurt you? You called us.
Okay,
Please. So what'd you hear?
Somebody outside my house, please.
Is this your car over here?
Please.
Is this your car over here? Oh.
Please,
That's not your black car in the driveway? Oh, well, we checked your yard, we walked around the whole block, we didn't see anybody. We don't. We check the whole area. There's nobody out walking around.
I know, y'all.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Doing all right mentally?
Yes.
Sure?
My medicine and stuff.
All right. Okay.
I love y'all. Thank y'all.
All right. That's not your black car, though. The SUV? Whose is it? You don't know? If someone just parked it in your driveway?
They brought it to my driveway.
Simple.
I just wish these officers would never went in this house, man. If y'all, most of y'all out there already know about this case. This was pretty recent, man, and it was a very popular freaking case. But I never seen even that portion of the body cam footage. I done never saw all the body cam footage that Ryan is showing us right now. But I wish these police would have just never went in this house and none of this would have ever freaking happened. Y'all didn't see nobody outside, so just go on about your business, man. If you can turn back the clock, Jesus.
Inside, the officers asked Sonia for identification and she began searching for it. All of this was captured on bodycam footage. She repeatedly said, "Please God," multiple times. Sonia seemed confused, exhibiting signs that suggested that she might be having a mental health crisis. On bodycam, you can see she had trouble comprehending and answering even their basic questions. When asked if she was alright mentally, Sonia replied, "Yes, I took my medicine." Now, the fact that Sonia was in the middle of a mental health crisis should have been clear to the officers, because at 9 AM the day before, Sonia's mother had actually called the police department to report her daughter was suffering a mental breakdown. Her mother pleaded on the phone to the dispatcher, saying that she didn't want her daughter to be hurt and asked that no officer who was prejudiced be sent. After that call, emergency services and behavioural health workers were dispatched to Sonia's address. Here she refused treatment and they cleared her anyway. Later that same day, another 911 call came in from Sonia, claiming that someone had broken her window. Police responded again, and Sonia was taken to the hospital for treatment. During her stay, Sonia admitted to breaking the window herself, and even here, officers noted that she was showing signs of mental health issues. So this all happened literally the day before, and this history was on record. However, these two cops that responded to the call were clearly unaware, and it shows in their behaviour. As one deputy looked around her house, Sonia began searching through a small stack of papers and her purse. At one point, she asked Grayson to hand her a Bible. The conversation then walked to the kitchen, where here Officer Grayson aggressively told Sonia to take the boiling water off the stove, fearing that it could cause a fire.
One task at a time here.
Okay.
Here, grab your ID for me.
Okay.
Your ID. One task at a time. So let's do an ID, and then you can dig around for your paperwork.
I don't know where my ID is.
You have that stack right there, maybe?
1 second.
Just check my purse.
Let me get this.
We don't need a fire while we're here.
Right. Let me see.
Sonia complied and began moving the pot to the stove to the sink. Boiling water still in hand, Sonia then said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Grayson responded, "What did you say?" And then Sonia repeated herself again. Then, completely out of nowhere, Grayson shouted, "You better not. I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face," before pulling out his service pistol.
Huh?
Where you going?
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from my husband in the water?
Yeah.
Oh, I would rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh?
Rebuke you in the name of
You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Let's just take that back. That is ridiculous for him to say that to her. Let's take it back, though.
Away from my husband in the water?
Yeah.
Oh, I would rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh?
Rebuke you in the name of
You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Now you all know where this is going. Sonia immediately apologised. She placed the pot on the stove and put her hands in the air. Now this is when both officers began shouting at her to drop the pot, even though she'd already put it down. As the officers closed in on her with pistols drawn, Sonia cowered on the kitchen floor, terrified and panicked. Despite proximity being the only danger here, for some reason the officers decide to get close. In a complete panic, captured only by Sean's body cam, Sonia can be seen in a couple of frames reaching up and grabbing the pot of boiling water again. Now at this stage, some people believe that Sonia was emptying out the pot, while others believe that she was throwing it at the cops in self-defense. Regardless, Officer Grayson opened fire, with one of his bullets hitting Sonia in the face, entering through the eye and exiting through the back of her neck. An instantaneous, fatal wound.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the pot! Drop
19 shots fired.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Drop the pot!
That is just so fucking unnecessary and so fucking ridiculous, man. They act like that damn hot water was gonna kill them or something. Her pot of water equal they freaking pistols. That's what they telling me, man. That's what they trying to say. That's their reason for killing her. The damn hot water was gonna melt their skin away. Are you fucking, man? I'm not finna get mad about this one. I already been mad a long time ago when I first was hearing about it and stuff. But like I said, man, I never seen the full body cam footage. And the fact that that lady was down on the ground, even if she was grabbing that pot, all y'all had to do is bag the F up, get out the freaking way. The water was gonna fly. For a little of it touch your skin, oh fucking whatever. That ain't no reason for you to freaking kill her. And he did exactly what he said he was gonna do too, Bean Team. He said, I'm gonna shoot you right in your fucking face. And that's exactly what he did, went straight through her eye, man. So fucking ridiculous. Then even afterwards, even after he done shot her, he's still hollering, shots fired, shots fired. Drop the fucking pot. Man, sit your ass down, dude. Let's go.
Bring EMS now. We got a headshot wound to the female. Headshot wound to the female. 1078.
I was on. I'm gonna go get my kit.
No, headshot, dude. She's done. You can go get it, but that's a headshot. God damn it. God. Dude, I'm not taking boiling water in the head. And look, it came right to our feet, too. God damn it. God, isn't that what you do, man? Well, I mean, you know, what else do we do? I'm not taking hot boiling water to the face, and it already reached us.
As Sonia collapsed onto the floor, the unidentified deputy said that he was going back to his car to retrieve a medical kit, but Sean stopped him, saying that, nah, she's done. You can go get it, but that's a headshot. While Sean went off scene, the other officer stayed with Sonia, applying first aid until the ambulance arrived, but of course nothing could be done to save her life, and she was pronounced dead. In the days that followed, Grayson was fired from the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office. He was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. He pleaded not guilty to all of these charges. After looking into Sean himself, a psychological evaluation conducted on him in March of 2023 found him fit to serve, but noted that he knows he can move too fast at times and that he needs to slow down to make good decisions. Of course, this incident caused immediate outrage in the local community and across the United States. It highlighted more concerns about the killing of black people by police in their own homes. Peaceful protests erupted, demanding justice for Sonia.
Well, a call for justice tonight in Greenwich Village after the police killing of a black woman in Illinois. Protesters came out in full force at Washington Square Park. 36-year-old Sonia Massey was shot in her home after police responded to her 911 call about a suspected prowler.
Justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Some of Sonia Massey's last words are now part of a painful history. Here in the city, protesters gathered at Washington Square Park Thursday night before spilling into the streets.
This is the reason why everybody needs to be outside. You know, this woman got killed in her own house.
History, protesters say, that continues to repeat itself.
It impacts me as a black woman, but it impacts me as a human being first, as it should affect all people. To see someone who is asking for help and who clearly needed that help, and to see the tragic end that had happened. And so I just think on a humane level, I empathize because that could be any of us.
And I agree with that lady so much, man. What that lady said right there really just kind of like sent chills down my body, y'all. Like, just take the color out. Take the race part out. For that to happen to anybody, regardless of race, is F the F up. That damn police was so much in the wrong. And then I got to talk about after they had realized how effed up they just did that woman. Then they sent back trying to justify it, talking about, man, I wasn't going to take no boiling water to the face. Look, you see it's almost at our feet. You were like, what the fuck, dude? What are you talking about right now, bro? You really trying to justify this ish. And even if you wanted to use a weapon, if you wanted to shoot your pistol, why you had to shoot her in the effing face like you said? Why? Dude, this is boiling water. If you wanted to, I don't even agree with shooting her at all, but if you wanted to, why you just ain't shoot her in the foot, shoot her in the leg, just shoot her in the arm, try to shoot in a non-fatal spot. You went dead for one of her eyes, bro. And then you want to say, I'm going to go run back now, I'm going to go get the kid. And the other, I was like, no, man, it's over. That's a headshot. You fucking shot her in the head, man. But what that lady said, y'all, real talk, that was some real ish, man. You can take the race out of it just as a human being. We all can see that shit was wrong. Let's go.
Judge later said that Sonia had posed no threat, and the body cam footage did not support Officer Grayson's claim that his use of deadly force was justified. He said in his defense that he believed Sonia's rebuke in the name of Jesus indicated that she was going to throw the water at him, a threat to his life, he thought. He also said that he lost sight of her below the kitchen counter, fearing that she might have grabbed a weapon. At the time of saying this, Sean continues to plead not guilty to the charges and remains in custody, awaiting his trial.
No, man, Sean got to get some type of, he got to be found guilty. I don't know what type of sentence to give him, y'all. I don't know if it's, I wouldn't say first degree murder, maybe second or third. I'm not going to say manslaughter. To me, it's freaking murder, but I don't know if it's first degree. Like, I don't know, but it could be first degree. You can argue it because of a headshot. Like, and then before he even took the headshot, he said he was going to do it. Like, man, I don't know, y'all. It's very controversial, but you are not guilty. He plead not guilty, bro. You guilty as shit. Seriously, man. You are guilty and gotta face some consequences. You gotta get some years, y'all. That's one of the ones where I can't wait till we actually get a verdict on it. I got real emotional on that one, man. Even when I said I ain't gonna try too bad because I know this story before, but hey, Ryan just did a great job giving us great details. And we gonna go to number 2. Rest in peace to Sonya. Number 2.
Now this horrible story begins in the coastal village of Barrow, Somerset. Again in England on the 13th of February 2021. That night, the police received a phone call from a man who was in extreme distress, saying that he needed an ambulance and police right away. The person on the phone was identified as 78-year-old David Jackson. On the phone call, he said that his 66-year-old wife of 28 years, Penelope, had stabbed him in the chest, aiming for his heart with a kitchen knife.
Oh.
This altercation had stemmed from a meal that they'd eaten that day. As it was still locked down in the UK, the pair had FaceTimed their children and had a birthday meal over video. It was on this FaceTime call that it was reported that the pair got into a heated argument, but it looked like it was resolved before the call ended. But it clearly wasn't resolved because David was on the phone with emergency services. As David was on the phone, Penelope attacked him again with the kitchen knife, stabbing him twice more in the abdomen. He could be heard on the call screaming in pain as she plunged the knife into him. At this point, the police were already on their way. Penelope grabbed the phone and spoke to 999, and this is when the truly chilling phone call was recorded. Penelope took over the call and said, "I've killed my husband, or tried to, because I've had enough." She says that she is compos mentis, meaning that she is entirely within her right mind, and said that she was sitting in her lounge while her husband was hopefully bleeding to death in the kitchen.
Wow.
And are you with him now?
Well, I might just go and stab him again, but...
Alright, do not stab him again.
Why?
Okay, so just listen to my voice. Okay?
Yes.
Stay on the line with me.
I am compos mentis.
Okay, are you with the patient now?
Well, I'm in the lounge and he's in the kitchen bleeding to death with any luck.
Alright, so just stay on the line with me.
Look, this is not, you're not paid enough to do with this. It's not fair.
Okay, well, ultimately, madam, I'm listening to your voice, and you're the help I have available, so we need to help him, okay?
No, I'm not.
Alright, madam,
I don't
how many times have you stabbed him?
I did the once,
You did the once?
and then he said I wouldn't do it again, so I did it twice more.
So, okay. So in total, how many times?
3 times.
3 times, okay.
Once I thought I'd get his heart, well, he hasn't got one, and then twice in the abdomen.
Boy, this one escalated real quick, and I'm just sitting back like, dude, y'all was together all them freaking years, and then you decide to do this? I don't know what the freak you meant. You tired of the abuse or whatever. What kind of abuse he was doing? You was together that damn long with him. I don't know where we going, y'all. Let's get some more details. And on the phone call, she do sound kind of competent. Like, yeah, I did this. Hey, it is what it is. That's what she sound like.
After inflicting almost certain fatal injuries to her husband, David, Penelope spent a total of 18 minutes talking to emergency services, and during that time, she refused all of their pleas to help David by stemming the bleeding or covering the wounds, adding that she might just go do it again. Now,
Wow.
This is when the shocking body cam footage was recorded. It shows police teams approaching the couple's door at approximately 9:25 p.m. Penelope comes to the door and they ask her to leave the house. She said that he's in the kitchen. Instead of asking how her husband was, she repeatedly asks about getting her coat on, showing that she's more concerned about being cold than her husband. A policeman replies, "At this moment in time, if you could just listen to my colleague, you're under arrest on suspicion of attempted murder." And Penelope replies, "Oh, I hope it's not attempted." A policewoman cuts off their conversation and shouts, "Right, get the ambulance here pronto, we need CPR." And Penelope says, "Oh, no, please don't. I should have stabbed him a bit more."
Hey, madam, do you need to step outside for me a minute? Can you come outside?
Yes.
Thank you.
He's on the kitchen floor.
Okay, at this moment in time, okay, if you just listen to my colleague, under arrest suspicion of attempt murder, mate.
Under arrest with suspicion of attempt murder. You do not have to say anything. It may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned anything you later rely in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
I'll go in and see what they do.
Yeah.
Could I get my coat?
Just bear with me 2 seconds.
In there. I admit it all.
Alright.
Just get them. Alright, I want to go in. Alright.
No,
So-
he's on the kitchen floor.
Can someone just stay with Devon while I go in?
There's nothing nasty, and I'm certainly not. My coat's in the.
Yeah, just
Ow,
wait
it's
2
a bit
seconds.
hot.
Alright, you okay? You alright?
With any luck, you'll be too late.
This footage,
Like, this lady just ain't got no shame in her game about what she did. Like, she just being honest and freak. And even after she being arrested, she still hoping, I hope he still die. You know what I'm saying? She has no regret for what she did. And also, if you look at the date of the body cam footage, it's kind of ironic or funny or whatever that this was literally a day before Valentine's Day. Crazy.
is absolutely insane. It doesn't get more insane than this, but it doesn't stop there. The footage shows Penelope standing by a police car away from the house, and here she admits it all. The stabbing, the entire lot, saying that David was an aggressive bully, he was nasty, and that she'd had enough of him. On the body cam, she doubles down on the fact she wanted to murder her husband, saying that with any luck, it would now be too late. The officer even tries to shut her down, saying that his advice is to not talk about anything right now. But Penelope opens her mouth again and says, No, I have no intention of not agreeing to what I've done. I know what I've done. I know why I've done it. And if I haven't done it properly, I'll be really annoyed.
Can I get my coat?
We'll get you
Right, get the ambulance in. Pronto, we need
Oh,
CPR.
no, please don't.
Yeah, we need the
should
ambulance
have
in.
stabbed him a bit more.
We've got CPR being done at the moment.
Yeah.
Come
on. Come with me, mate.
You want my keys?
Shoe.
Okay.
Yes. I stabbed him. Once. Because he's a...
Do you want to send them on?
He's an aggressive bully and nasty, and I've had enough. And when he said you wouldn't do it, I did it twice more. Coats in.
What colour's your
go
coat?
in the front. In the front.
Yeah.
Grey wardrobe.
Okay, it might be a while, all right, but I'll try and get. There's obviously a lot going on. Okay.
Oh,
but
with any luck, it'll be too late.
Penelope, my advice is don't talk about it now. Okay.
No, I have no intention of not agreeing to what I've done.
Okay.
I know what I've done.
All right.
And I know why I've done it. And if I haven't done it properly, I'm really annoyed.
Sadly, back in the house, nothing could be done to save David, and he died from his injuries. Inside the kitchen was a handwritten note written by Penelope that I'll put on screen now.
To whom it may concern, I have taken so much abuse over the years. Look at my records. But he was a good daddy. However, the mask slipped tonight. The mask slipped tonight? That was unforgivable. I accept my punishment. May he rot in hell. The mask slipped tonight. I don't know what this lady talking about, man. Maybe she is crazy. I don't know. Let's go.
All right, Penny. I'm further arresting you for murder.
Good.
I've already cautioned you, so your necessities for your arrest is for an prompt and effective investigation and stop further harm.
Sorry, that one's a bit tight.
So
This
Penny,
one's-
We're gonna
move them to the rear in a minute. The DO's just come out to check your temperature, and then we'll move you in. And then
mind
we'll
your
get
head.
there. Just stay there for the time being.
All right. I wouldn't buy my slippers.
All right.
I'm not
Do you want her out?
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Just step out. Mind your head.
Yeah. Rightio. I'm very sorry for being a nuisance.
Just got to take a temperature, okay?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be just really great. Get COVID on the top of this.
When her court date came around, Penelope painted a picture that David was a monster, saying that she'd stabbed him due to years of abuse, claiming that he was aggressive, a bully, but of course, David's not here to defend himself. However, contrary to the picture that Penelope had tried to paint, Jane, David's daughter from his first marriage, accused Penelope of being the abuser in the relationship, saying that her father would have never asked for help and would have kept quiet about being bullied and abused by his wife, accusing Penelope of being the abuser. In court, Penelope admitted to killing her husband, but she did not admit to murder, only to the lesser plea of manslaughter, saying that she had lost control that night. After looking at all the evidence and all the testimonies, it showed that David Jackson was in fact a kind, gentle, and caring man that Penelope had murdered. The judge said that I am quite sure that David was nothing like the person you have claimed. He was a loving father and a grandfather and was enjoying his well-earned retirement. The judge said that this was clear premeditated murder. The judge said that Penelope had written the confession note in advance in anticipation of killing her husband, saying that Penelope had not shown a shred of remorse throughout the entire trial. The jury rejected her defense that she'd lost control that night, and Penelope was found guilty of murder. She was sentenced to 18 years in prison with no possibility of parole, with her appeal being instantly dismissed. Now, this whole case is horrific. Penelope and David's children lost both their father and their mother on the same day. The body cam and the 999 call honestly and genuinely gave me goosebumps. The stone-cold face of Penelope, just minutes after she'd brutally stabbed her husband, will stick with me for a long, long time. Penelope just should have left the relationship if she was unhappy, but instead she chose to do this. She chose to stab her husband, and now she'll have to pay for the rest of her life.
Exactly, man. That's what I was gonna say from the beginning, y'all. Like, dude, if you really had a problem with him like that, all you had to do was leave him. Like, you know what I'm saying, man? Instead of leaving him, you decide to kill him. Like, no, that ain't no good excuse. And then you did all that talking, but then you want to say, no, I didn't commit murder. It was manslaughter. No, you were doing all that talking on them body cam footage about how, yeah, I killed him. I hope he's dead. I hope he's dead. Then you left a damn note. We know it's premeditated. That is freaking murder. with her. Now, 18 years, I can't remember how old Ryan said she was, but maybe she gonna spend the rest of her life in prison, or when she get out, she gonna be old as freak anyway. But it's just like, dude, I don't know. I'm not gonna believe her story more than I'm gonna believe the people who testified that David was actually a good man. Like, she claimed he was this big monster, evil-ish dude, but he ain't here to tell his side of the story, and I'm not just gonna believe you. I digress, y'all. We are 35 minutes through the video, and we got one more to go. So this is going to be a long one right here. This last one, number one, is going to be very long. Let's get into it. Number one.
Being afraid of walking down the street at night, in the dark, is a very rational fear to have. Fear of the dark is actually an evolutionary trait that we've developed from our ancestors who were vulnerable to nocturnal predators and other dangers during the night. However, no evolutionary trait could save you from the perpetrator in this case. With that in mind, this entry begins on the 3rd of March 2021 in Clapham, southwest London. Living in Clapham was 33-year-old Sarah Everard. Sarah's life was busy, being a market executive at a digital agency, and was working from home due to the COVID lockdown that was in place at the time. On the evening of the 3rd, Sarah decided to meet up with her friend at her friend's house, located around an hour's walk from her home. Sarah can be seen walking to her friend's house and stopping at Sainsbury's to get a bottle of wine. She was wearing a blue coat, a white hat, and a pair of joggers. She made this trip no problem, and after a lovely evening with her friend, at approximately 9 PM, Sarah started to make her way back to her house. She walked back home across the common while on the phone to her boyfriend. At this point, the sun had set and night had begun to settle. As I said, due to COVID, at the time, the whole of the UK was under lockdown, so the streets were unusually empty and the police were out patrolling, trying to catch those that were breaking restrictions. At approximately 9:15 PM, Sarah can be seen walking down the A205 South Circular Road, then across the common en route to her Brixton Hill home. At 9:28 PM, Sarah can be seen on doorbell cameras on Poynter Road, and 4 minutes later she was also captured on dashcam by a passing police car. At this point, a truly horrifying encounter occurred. As Sarah was walking down Ponders Road, an unusual white Vauxhall Grandland pulled up beside her. The driver jumped out of the vehicle and approached her and said that he was a police officer. He flashed her his police warrant card before handcuffing her and putting her in the back of the car. It's assumed that he told her that she was under arrest for COVID violations. Warning alarms would have been ringing, but at this point, it was now too late. Sarah had unfortunately and tragically locked herself in with a certified psychopath. While the man was in fact a legitimate police officer, this was a false arrest. No crime had been committed, no COVID restriction was violated, and there was no need to be handcuffed. But of course, Sarah didn't know this. But just like that, Sarah got into the car, it drove away, and poof, she seemingly vanished. She never returned home.
Dang.
On the evening of the following day, after she did not answer her phone, her boyfriend reported her missing to the police, and a desperate manhunt was declared. Over the next few days, the police issued an appeal over her disappearance. They released various images of her and what she was wearing when she vanished, and asked anyone with information to come forward. For a while, there weren't many leads, as police teams scoured thousands of hours of CCTV footage in an attempt to find where she had gone. A few days after Sarah's disappearance, a key piece of evidence in the case was discovered. CCTV footage was recovered from a bus that was passing by, showing Sarah and a man standing together having a conversation. From this very grainy footage, the registration of the vehicle could be seen, and here, using ANPR and CCTV cameras, they were able to track its every movement.
And you know what made this story so much more scary is the fact Ryan said that it is actually a police officer who abducted her. He just gave her a false arrest that really was a kidnapping. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that this really is a police officer is what make it so freaking scary, man. Using his power to kidnap somebody. Be careful out there.
The police's investigations eventually led them to 48-year-old Wayne Couzens, who shockingly worked as a police officer with the Metropolitan Police in London. He lived in the town of Deal with his wife and 2 young kids. Now this brings us to the body cam in question. It was recorded on the 9th of March, 6 days after Sarah's disappearance. The day prior, Wayne had called in sick for work and handed in his equipment, including his police belt and handcuffs. Wayne wiped his phone of all the data 40 minutes before they arrived. The body cam shows police teams arriving at Wayne's house at 7:45 to ask Wayne some questions about Sarah. At first, Wayne denies any knowledge of Sarah before concocting an elaborate story about an Eastern European gang that was forcing him to abduct girls.
That's been conducted so far has led us to come and speak to you about it and to see what we know about Sarah, okay? So, would you like to, do you know where Sarah is?
No.
Right, okay. Do you know anything about what happened to her?
I know that she went missing up in London somewhere, about a week ago or so, just from what I got on the news.
Okay. Have you ever personally met her?
No, not personally, man.
Have you had any interactions with her at all?
No, why would I have personal interactions with her?
Well, it's very difficult because I can't go into a lot of the evidence because obviously that's not part of what an urgent interview is, okay? This interview is just about trying to find her.
Sure.
She's been missing for a while now.
I'm sat in handcuffs and I know her. So you must have something to say that I know her.
Well, as I said, you've been arrested on suspicion of kidnap, and we believe that you've been involved in her disappearance and taking her away from her family.
Okay.
So we are trying to find her. Obviously, everybody is very worried about her. She's got, parents. She's got, she's siblings. She's got a boyfriend. There's a lot of people that care about her.
Sure.
You've seen her on the news. There are people that are reaching out about her.
Sure.
Out there looking for her every day, and she's missing. And our job, our primary job here, is to find her and to try and find her safe and well.
Okay.
And that's the problem. I don't think she's safe and well, man. I think that man already been killed, Sarah. He's sitting up there acting stupid.
Now, we believe that you know something about where she is, and that's why we're here, to look for her and to try and find her. And that's why we're talking to you now, is to try and get you to have a good think about it and tell us anything you can about whether we might be able to find her.
Okay. Well, I am in financial, and I've been lent on by I don't know who they are. They're a group, a gang, whatever, and they told me, right, I need to go and pick up girls and give them to them. So I said, not happening. And it then came through that they're gonna harm my family, take them away, and they'll use them instead. At that point I had no option to try and find somebody.
You had no option, and you a damn police officer. Dude, you literally work for the police, man. I ain't finna even do it. You could have put your family in witness protection and all type of ish and found out who these mysterious gang members were who was trying to, the whole police force would have been behind your back. Come on, bro.
I don't, there's a couple of names. I was told a place to take her. That's it. That is all I know. To this group of people.
Tell me about them. I need to find them. Tell me everything you know that I hope that you'll have them.
There was a white Sprinter van. They was between sort of Lenham, Maidstone area that I dropped her off. I still don't know. I don't know. They just I just parked my car up, and then the van come up behind me, flashed me. They all jumped out, and then they took this girl. They said, They said, "You've done good," and I don't know if my family's going to be alright still.
I mean, this whole story is so goofy, y'all. This is a goofy, lying ass story, man. This man is a goofy dude. Why would these people make you freaking kidnap the girl when they could have just been kidnapping girls on their own? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are they using you? Like, you can just hear how he pausing and just making up this story as he goes. This is one of those stories that he's not going to remember tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to remember all the details that he's saying right now. This man just making ish up a freaking goofy.
They threatened to take my family away from me. So, at that point, I'm doing what I can to protect my family. That's it. So, all I know is that it was a roundabout. We could drive there now, I could show you. But roughly, I don't know Lenham, Maidstone area at all.
If we did it on Google, if we did it on Google Maps, like Google Earth, if we drove it, would you be able to do it?
I drove from Ashford to Maidstone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There's a roundabout that breaks up, I guess. So this is the first big roundabout you come to. And you carry straight over to Maidstone, but instead I went round that roundabout and back up another road. And at that point, I was pulled over. Opened my door, opened that door, pushed me out against the front of the car, took the girl, drove off. That's it. They said, "We'll be in touch." So I'm here, I'm off work with stress because I'm here to protect my family. I want to be here 24/7 for my family. They come from my family. I've got nothing myself. I've got no choice.
I'll go back through the route with you in a minute, alright? But how do they contact you? How do you contact them?
I tried to look over on one of their call girls and rip her off. So she's told them, and they've got me. So
how do they? No, but honestly, how do they contact you? How is it they've been in contact with you to make these threats?
They just tell me, be here. So Hotel Burston down in Folkestone, got to be here. Okay, so I turned up. I've got no mobile number, and they haven't got my mobile number. They're obviously outside watching, following. I just honestly.
How are they telling you to be there? How is it that they're giving you those directions?
Yeah, they'll come outside. So they'll be outside here.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, right, you're going to be in Folkestone at this time, or you're going to be in Ashford at this time. That's it. There's no links, no telephone numbers. I'm completely on my own, but at the same time being threatened. It had Romanian plates on the van. White, like Mercedes Sprinter type van.
That man lies started to just get exhausting, y'all. Like, seriously, man, just miss me with it. Just got more and more just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying, man? To the point he talking about, oh, they meet me outside and be like, me, instead of them just telling them whatever, when they meet you outside, they tell you to meet me here and meet me there. Like, come on, bro. Just come on, bro.
Wayne was first arrested on suspicion of Sarah's kidnapping. The police then properly began looking into what had happened, and what was discovered was far more horrifying than they even imagined. They seized Wayne's personal car, his Seat, where here officers discovered a broken fragment of Sarah's SIM card, along with a blood stain that matched her DNA. They then realised stealing Sarah was entirely planned and premeditated. On the 28th of February 2021, Wayne had gone out of his way to hire a rental car, using his personal details and his bank card. Early on the 3rd, after completing a 12-hour shift in London, he told his family he had more work on and drove around an hour to Dover to pick the car up. Once Wayne had picked the rental car up, he stopped at Tesco's to pick up a pack of hairbands and then drove back to London, Clapham, to, in the prosecutor's words, hunt for a lone young female to kidnap and rape. After spotting Sarah on Poinders Road, Wayne used his police ID, his expertise, and equipment to convince her to get into the back of the car, where here he locked the doors. Wayne then drove the rental car back to Dover, and when they got back to Dover, Wayne forced Sarah to get into his personal car. Once in the Seat, they drove to a random location in the Sibbertswold area. Wayne then tied her up with Velcro and proceeded to do the unthinkable. He had his way with her before strangling her to death. He then drove to a wooded area called Wodes Wood near Ashford and dumped her body in the woods like it was trash. By 2:31 a.m, Wayne had left Hodes Wood and was spotted at a local service station buying drinks. Wayne's personal car was then captured on CCTV between 3:22 a.m. and 6:32 in the area of Hodes Wood. So, after popping to the shop to get refreshments, Wayne returned to move Sarah's body twice that very morning.
Wow.
At 8:30 a.m, Wayne transferred from his personal car to the rental car to return it, before getting back into his car to return home. On the way home, he disposed of Sarah's mobile phone in one of the rivers in Kent, and shortly before 11, Wayne could be seen buying and filling a petrol container at a service station in Whitfield before heading home. And just like that, Wayne returned to work as a police officer with the Metropolitan Police in London and resumed his life with his wife and his kids as if nothing had happened, even returning a few days later with his family to the same place that he dumped her body, just to make sure everything was fine. On the 5th of March, Wayne returned to Hodes Wood again and then burned Sarah's body inside a refrigerator that he'd found in the woods. 2 days later, he visited B&Q and bought 2 builder's bags and then returned to the woods yet again to hide the body in the pond. On the 5th, bizarrely, Wayne made a call to his local vet to make an appointment for his family's French bulldog, who he said was suffering from separation anxiety. Absolutely bizarre, given what he had just done in the previous days. He was way too calm for what was going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I was wondering if I could book my dog in for the vet so I can have a discussion about her issues, please. Yeah, no, that's fine. We think she's suffering from separation anxiety, and we have tried absolutely everything. We've tried to give her puzzles and bits and pieces, treat puzzles and everything. We take her for walks every single day, but we've been told, I've got a camera set up as well, but we've been told reliably by our neighbours, so we know there's issues, and she just barks and howls constantly all day. But obviously, when we're there. And then when we come home, she's so excited and worked up that she kind of wheezes and she's shaking. But where she jumps up and she's got longer claws, she scratches the kids, she scratches us. Not all by accident, but we're just wondering, we have read online about if it gets to quite a bad degree of separation anxiety, then potential medications try and calm her down. So that's what we want to talk to the vet about, really, and a way forward with it.
This dude is just a cold-hearted killer. He has no remorse for what he did to her. And I'm just going to throw a crazy hypothetical that'll never happen out there, but I'm just trying to get y'all to understand what I'm saying, man. Let's just say I did kill somebody. Let's just say I did, Bean Team, and I hid their body in the woods. I wouldn't have the heart to be able to go back over and over and over again and look at the body and make sure nobody know where it's at and try to hide it even more, put it in a refrigerator, set it on fire, go back the next day, try to throw it in the pond. No, this dude didn't care about this little girl at freaking all, man. He on the phone talking to the vet about his damn dog like it's just a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Let's go.
Bodycam footage was recorded on the 9th, and on the 10th, the police discovered the grisly scene in Hodes Wood. Sarah was only able to be identified conclusively by dental records. With Sarah's body now recovered, Wayne was officially charged with Sarah's kidnapping and her murder, and due to the horrific natures of his crimes, he was held in custody until his trial on September the 29th, 2021.
A serving police constable has tonight been charged with the kidnap and murder of Sarah Everard. Wayne Cousins, aged 48, has been remanded in custody and will appear at Westminster Magistrates Court tomorrow morning. Sarah's family, of course, have been informed of this development and remain supported by specialist officers. I would like at this stage to pay tribute to Sarah's family for their fortitude and forbearance through what can only have been the most intensely difficult few days. Our thoughts remain with them as this matter progresses.
I'm in a dark place.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay.
There's a picture of a lady. Do you recognise this person in this picture?
No comment.
Who is that, Wayne?
No comment.
Have you ever met this woman before?
No comment.
When this story hit the mainstream media, people couldn't believe that a police officer had done this to an innocent woman. People couldn't wait to see justice served.
With all due respect, I would like to make a short speech for a very simple reason. When this event was called, it was initially called as a silent vigil. But the police and the courts banned us from protesting against the police murderer. And how and why was he able to murder Sarah? How and why? Get back!
What are you doing?
Get back!
You fucking get back, go home!
No, you're posing a threat to us. Now stay! Get back!
In court, Wayne pleaded guilty to Sarah's murder. On the video link, he refused to look at the camera and kept his head down towards the ground. After investigating his history, Wayne joined the police force in 2002, and over the years, there were multiple occasions of misconduct. It was revealed that there were many warning signs that were completely ignored before Sarah was murdered. Turns out that Wayne should have never been allowed to become a police officer in the first place. Just 3 days before the murder, Wayne had driven through a McDonald's drive-thru and exposed himself to the staff. While his details were handed to the police, they didn't take it seriously, and it was still under investigation when Sarah was murdered. Now you think, okay, fair enough, this was fairly recent, they didn't have a chance to look into it before he did this horrible crime. But it turns out this wasn't the first time he'd done this. It was further revealed that there were multiple times that Wayne had been reported for this, but again, the reports were not taken seriously. These reports indicate that Wayne was directly linked to incidents of indecent exposure as early as 2015. To make it worse, he had active allegations of indecent exposure against him prior to being hired by the Metropolitan Police Force in 2018. How this wasn't picked up on the vetting, I have no clue.
That's crazy.
The fact that no police came to find him or his black car to question him about these incidents can only have served to confirm and strengthen in the defendant's mind a dangerous belief in his invincibility, in his power sexually to dominate and abuse women without being stopped.
Wayne went above and beyond to meticulously plan this entire thing, thinking that he could get away with it, thinking that he was smarter than the law. Because of this, the judge imposed the maximum possible punishment. 3 days after the trial began, on September the 30th, Wayne was sentenced to life in prison with a tariff of a whole life order, meaning he will never be free again. Good. While Wayne was now behind bars and justice was served, his sentencing did little to make anyone feel better about the whole thing. The Metropolitan Police came under severe scrutiny as people's confidence in them eroded to an all-time low. Due to several lapses, they allowed Wayne to continue to work in the force. They were unable to identify him as a danger to women, even though he worked right under their nose. Shortly after, the Angelini inquiry was started to independently investigate Sarah's murder and to establish what happened and if any opportunities were missed. Some of the recommendations from this inquiry include improving information sharing, more thorough vetting of police officers, researching patterns of offending, and holding police forces to a higher standard of accountability when things like this occur. But none of these will bring Sarah back. None of it will stop the pain that Wayne caused. The only hope is that this kind of horror never, ever repeats itself again.
I'm so glad that man got life in prison without parole, man. Thank freaking God. Especially with him being a police officer, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes the police officers get lighter sentences than other people. I'll just leave it at that.
But that is the end of the video. May Sarah and the rest of the people featured rest in peace. Now, I often get comments about how do these stories affect you, and honestly, sometimes they do. In this video, each and every one of these stories hit me particularly hard. Starting from the top, we've got Marek, who stabbed Adrian because he was jealous. I can't quite believe that body cam footage. Why in the world would any criminal go back to the scene the same day, drunk? And then to taunt the police, saying that you know what happened, he's got to be very stupid, or he was just handing himself in. Malcolm, who ran over poor Fenella, broke my heart. This is one of those stories that really got to me, where life is so cruel, it's hard to believe, you can't even make it up. Fenella was walking home from work, flowers in hand for her mum, but sadly, she never got to her mum's house. And now every time she passes the road, that nightmare begins again. Just truly horrific stuff, and this could happen to any one of us. Please go sign that form. He really shouldn't be released in 4 years. That is criminal in itself.
Yes.
Sonia being murdered in her own home by a police officer that she called while she was having a mental health crisis. Again, it's one of those cases where I'm lost for words. When will this stop? When will we stop seeing these news stories of trigger-happy cops just executing people because they feel like it? Something needs to change. Sonia called 911 in her own home because she felt not safe, and ultimately she lost her life. That should never ever happen. Penelope, who stabbed her husband, then admitted it all on the 999 call, and then on the body cam, yes, she said it was due to years of abuse, but David isn't here to defend himself, and testimonies in the court said otherwise. They said that David was kind. Penelope should have left him instead of ending his life, but she chose to do what she did and shattered the entire family. And last, but certainly not least, Wayne. What he did to Sarah was just truly evil. It has to be one of the worst cases I've ever covered on this channel. He was a police officer that used his power to lead an innocent girl to her death. The story that he concocted on the spot was creative, but showed what lengths he would go to save face, to conceal what he'd done and hide the truth from Sarah's family. I am so glad that he will never be set free, but questions still remain to this day about the authenticity of police officers in the UK, their vetting process, and how many other Wayne cousins are walking amongst us. But most importantly, what did you think of this one? As always, I read each and every comment below, although that's getting pretty tricky nowadays. But if you've made it this far into the video and you look down there and you're not subscribed, why aren't you subscribed? Go ahead and demolish that sub button now and tickle that notification bell to be alerted at when I release content such as this. But I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.
Another great video from Ryan, man. This one, like he said, y'all, like all these stories like pretty much hit me in the feels for real. And we're gonna run them down real quick. And we're gonna start with number 1, number 5. We're gonna start with the latest one we just was hearing, y'all. Wayne, man, like, dude, I'm so happy he got life in prison because what he did to Sarah was just so freaking terrible. And the fact, and I was saying it before we even got all the details, just the fact he was actually a police officer, acting like a police officer to trick this girl to get in the car with him, and then what he did to her, and then the whole story of him sitting on that couch lying, man, like it got so ridiculous at the end. I'm just looking at this dude like, bro, a damn baby wouldn't believe you at this point with this foolishness that's coming out your mouth, man. And you that disgusting, dude. Like, she got family, friends out here looking for her, want to know where she at, and you know exactly what you did to her, and you instead of just telling the truth, you rather come up with this bullshit ass story. Long story short, story long. May he rot in freaking prison, being team. The one before that, what was the one before that, y'all? Oh man, the lady, I can't remember the lady name now, but she just was so confident in murdering her freaking husband, man. Like, it was, like I said, no shame in her freaking game. Yeah, I did it. Oh man, I should have stabbed him a couple of more times. He's still surviving. He didn't end up surviving. I remember his name, David. Rest in peace to David, man. But it's just so crazy. Like, dude, y'all been together all these freaking years, then you decide to do this. Instead of doing that, why didn't you just leave? Why didn't you just leave? And then the fact that she want to act like it was manslaughter later on, like, no, you were so confident and had your chest poked out earlier that you did it. It was premeditated. We know you wrote you a note and all about the whole situation. So it's like, dude, stand on business now and get what you deserve, man. Get what you freaking deserve. She got 18 years, so she probably gonna be in prison like the rest of her life, or until she gonna be very old when she do get out. The one before that, Sonya Massey, man, everybody already know about the Sonya Massey case. And this one that don't have a verdict yet, but I'm serious, y'all. He got that goddamn police officer got to get some time for that ish. There is no way you can justify killing Sonya. There is no way they can justify that ish. And then you heard them after the shot had been fired. Later on, one of the officers saying, man, when that we can do, man, I wasn't gonna let no boiling water get on me. You see how far I got it? Got almost to our foot. Boiling water to give you the reason to kill somebody. Like I said, even if you were to shoot her, you didn't have to shoot her in her effing face like one of the damn police officers said before he did it. That is effed up, man. That man gotta get some time, y'all. And I'm talking about some real time, man. Some real freaking time. What was the one before that, Being Team? This was a great video from Ryan, y'all. Great freaking video, man. Oh, man, the drunk ass. Like, this dude's so freaking drunk, man. How could you be that careless to run over that little girl in that street like that? And the cherry on top of the bullshit is the fact that the man got 8 years and possibly gonna be out in 4 years. I was already pissed just looking at the body cam footage of how drunk he literally was, how irresponsible he literally was. Like Ryan said, he probably don't even remember running over that girl, man, and no justice was served on that. Go sign that petition, Being Team. I'm going to sign it as soon as I end this video, y'all. Seriously, man. And the one before that is just the most craziest one, with the dude just literally walked down the street drunk than a mother, and just, I know what happened, but I don't know what happened, but this is what happened, but I don't know what happened. Like, the dude was so freaking drunk, and it's like he, like Ryan said, was either just stupid as fuck, or he really did want to like tell on himself subconsciously or whatever, and the alcohol just brought it up out of him. It was just such a effed up triangle, and like I said, you got the victim in the triangle who don't have nothing to do with what y'all got going on in this past relationship, but I end up being the one who got to lose my life over this BS. It's just effed up, man. It's just effed the freak up, Being Team. And I digress. I'm gonna go and let y'all go now, man. I appreciate y'all coming on back as always. And before y'all leave, just please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and do all that if you ain't did that yet. Now see you tomorrow for another Mr. Ballin' Sunday. And until then, my friends, also remember this: love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.